Got him! Got him!
Hey guys, it's H-On here with another Ashes of Creation Theory Crafted Build Guide. The last couple videos I put out, I covered a couple classes from Final Fantasy XI, my favorite MMO of all time, and Death Knight from World of Warcraft. Those builds were 9% speculation with the information that currently exists. So this time, I want to do a theory video covering one of the 64 classes from Ashes with the information we currently have from alpha testing. Today, I want to talk about the Sentinel. The Sentinel is a combination of Ranger archetype combined with the tank. With Ranger as the main class, we will be focusing on its ability kit and how augments from the tank archetype can alter the way you play Ranger. I have a lot of fun daydreaming about how this class will play. I like to imagine a up-close shotgun style Ranger using the tank's augments to bolster defense while pumping short-range spread arrows in the faces of monsters and players alike. So let's break down Ranger's current ability kit and apply the augments to each one. First off, most of this information is speculation and pulled from my imagination. Currently, the augmentation system is not online in Ashes but will be introduced after all archetypes are released. The point of this video is to get excited about how we could potentially customize our favorite class and hopefully influence Intrepid's design philosophy in order to get the game we want to play. Okay, now that we're on the wiki, I'm just going to quickly summarize each skill and the augments for time's sake, so let's get to it. First, we have Airstrike. Leap a great distance forward into the air while firing 3 projectiles in a line along the path. The augment will look something like this. Replaces leap with a stationary stance. Reduce damage by 25% while in stance. Fires 10 projectiles at 50% physical damage. Every 3 hits penetrate armor by 3%. Next we have Barrage. Fires a continual barrage of arrows at your target for 1.5 seconds. The augment no longer causes bleed. Penetrates armor but for 2% of max of 15% reduction if all projectiles hit. Bear Trap. Spawn a trap at the target location which arms after 1 second. When the enemy triggers the trap, they take physical damage and become rooted. The augment will look something like this. Traps also stun for 3 seconds on activation. Call of the Wild. Remove all snared and chilled statuses from the caster and increase movement speed by 20%. The augment no longer increases movement speed, instead increases damage reduction by 20% for 6 seconds. Camouflage. You become harder to see and cannot be directly targeted. The further you are from an enemy, the more difficult you are to spot. With the augment, exiting camouflage reduces damage taken by 20%. Camouflage only lasts for 10 seconds unless ended early. Disengage. Quickly strike enemies in front of you while backflipping in the opposite direction. While augmented, instead of leaping away from the target, you leap 2, stun for 1 second, and also gives you a shield for 3 seconds. With the enhanced armament abilities, only one can be augmented at a time, and they all do one thing. That allows the Ranger to taunt. This acts as a way for the Ranger to kinda act as an off-tank in certain scenarios if chosen to do so. Headshot. Deal 200% physical damage to target enemy. Deals 25% more damage to target below 50% of their maximum health. If augmented, shots that pass through allies give 20% damage done as temporary hit points for 3 seconds. The hunts are going to be similar to the enhanced armament. Only one can be augmented at a time and they all have different effects. The bear, increased damage mitigation. Raven, increased penetration. Or Tiger, on crit, gain 20% damage done as temporary hit points. Lightning Reload. Grants a charge of Lightning Reload, allowing you to fire one ability shot for free, ignoring its cooldown and all other costs. Augmented, on activation, pushes back enemies and applies slow. All marks are similar to hunts and enhanced armaments as well, only one can be augmented at a time and they all have different effects. Bear, reduces damage done by target by 10%. Raven, hits target for 20% of missing life, 2% turns to temporary hit points. Tiger, also penetrates armor on hit. Party Stride, applies Strider to all group members within 30 meters. Strider increases ground movement speed of target by 10%. The augment movement speed is replaced with a damage reduction shield. Raining Death. Fire 2 consecutive volleys of arrows in a wide area in front of you, dealing 100% physical damage and applying 1 stack of wounded to enemies with each hit. Augmented, allies standing in the AoE also receive a damage shield for 10% of their maximum life. Regeneration grants 10 regeneration rating per ranger level to a target ally. Can be maintained on 1 ally at a time. Augmented replaces regeneration with a damage reduction shield every 10 seconds for 10% of the target's life. Scattershot fires a spread of projectiles, dealing 125% physical damage to every enemy target in a cone area in front of the caster. With this skill augmented, this could be the bread and butter of the Sentinel kit for DPS. Deals 250% weapon damage, but range is reduced by 10 meters. Concentrated shot still works the same, but with reduced range. Also applies a temporary hit points to allies whom the arrows pass through. Snipe. Deal 400% physical damage and apply shaken to target enemy. Augmented does 300% weapon damage, while channeling gain an impenetrable shield that blocks all hits from the front only. Thorns. Envelop target ally with thorns, dealing damage equal to 1/3 of the ranger's level and 10% chance to apply bleeding. Augmented, thorns damage is doubled when attacked while shields are active. Thundering Shot. Fire a lightning-infused projectile at target enemy, dealing 200% physical damage and applying 10 stacks of shock to the target. Augmented also stuns target for 1 second on hit. Lastly, we have Vine Field. Summon a Vine Field at target location. Targets in the area take 125% physical damage and become rooted. Augmented, the field turns into a wall. Enemies and projectiles that pass through the wall are slowed. Allies and friendly projectiles gain temporary hit points and bleed damage. As you can see, with a little imagination, we now have the idea how the Sentinel will play, or should play. While opting out of long-range gameplay, we gain the ability to go toe-to-toe on the front lines, applying shields to yourself and allies, shotgun-like gameplay for big damage up close, and finally, the ability to take the heat from overworked tanks and clerics. So what do you think? Should Steven Sharif hire me as co-creative designer? I sure as hell think he should. But I want to know what you think. Do you also fantasize about the possibilities we could see in Ashes of Creation's future? Is there anything about this theory video build that you would change? Let me know in the comments below. I plan on covering all 64 possibilities in anticipation for the release of the augment system. And if you enjoy this content, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching. H-on out.